Sub-Zero. Fight. Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. Sub-Zero wins. Fight. Sub-Zero win. Fatality.
Did you see that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. The fatalities, finishing moves in Mortal Kombat, the evolution of fatalities between Mortal Kombat and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Now that reaction, the expression on my face there was the same expression that was on the face of many kids back in the day. And the first time I saw that fatality, that was the first fatality I'd ever seen performed on Liu Kang, like you had just saw now. The expression on the kids' faces around me, we all thought we were watching something that was that we weren't allowed to watch. It was atrocious, and we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe that a video game had this kind of violence in it. We weren't the only one. We weren't the only ones, because this game got so much controversy back in the day. It's actually what started the ESRB rating system in video games. Even our parents couldn't believe it. They thought it was disgusting when they saw that. Now it's very tame compared to the fatalities and finishing moves and everything that we see on TV today and in video games. It was very tame, but back then it wasn't, and it just got crazier and crazier, as we're about to see in this video. What did it evolve into, however, and what did the programmers and the developers of the game, how did they react in regards to the controversy and the outlash and the backlash of angry parents and angry critics and whatnot in regards to the violence? Did they remove them from the games? Well, we know 30-something years later they definitely didn't. It is more graphic and gory, and the violence is so gratuitous now, it makes these fatalities that I'm about to show you pale in comparison. But it was interesting to see what happened with the Mortal Kombat games and the finishing moves and such. As later games implemented friendships and babalities, kind of to poke fun at the critics hating on all the violence. It was very well done. So let's go down the nostalgic rabbit hole and take a look at some of these fatalities. Take a look at some of these fatalities and finishing moves, and let's just talk a bit about it while we do that. Liu Kang. Let's take a look at Liu Kang.
Liu Kang wins. Fatality.
Well, there's nothing to it, right? He just does a cartwheel, uppercuts the opponent, but it actually had a very different look to it when it was performed on the pit stage. And performing this uppercut, you would see the bottom of the pit, which was very graphic. That image stuck with me for the rest of my life, and you can see why here. The bottom of the pit looks crazy with the bodies hanging from the spikes and the decapitated heads with fear on their faces on the spikes. This is the true Liu Kang fatality I find from Mortal Kombat 1.
Liu Kang wins. Flawless victory fatality.
Yeah, no, that's how I like to remember that fatality, with the pit below it with the spikes. That's where Liu Kang's fatality is actually a fatality to me. In Mortal Kombat 1, there were some tamer fatalities too. Sonya's fatality, Scorpion's fatality, I found those were pretty tame. Let's take a quick look at those, and you'll see what I mean.
Get over here! Scorpion. Sonya wins. Fatality.
And now, while they're still killing their opponent, and when you think about it, they're being burned alive, like right down to the bones. It's still pretty vicious and pretty violent, but visually, because there's no blood in those fatalities, it doesn't look quite as bad as the others. Mortal Kombat 1 also had Kano's heart rip fatality, inspired by Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Raiden's fatality, where your head explodes, and Johnny Cage's fatality, where he knocks your head off. Those again were some pretty eye-popping fatalities. Let's take a look at those.
Kano wins. Fatality.
So that was it. That's pretty much the extent of the violence that was in Mortal Kombat 1. This here is what drove critics crazy and parents crazy, and made kids feel like they were doing something wrong just by playing the games themselves. So a year and a half later, Mortal Kombat 2 comes out. Now they got more, better hardware, more memory, vibrant colors. They're able to throw more into this game. So what did the makers, what did the creators of Mortal Kombat do to respond to the critics, and how did they improve on Mortal Kombat 2 and make it more kid friendly? Well, let's take a look.
Liu Kang wins. Flawless victory. Friendship. Friendship?
Friendship? Even Shao Kahn is wondering what the hell a friendship is. He says it twice. Friendship. Friendship? We don't want friendships. Our young minds want violence. We want gratuitous violence. What else do you got? Babality? Really? That's what they came up with? Wouldn't it be cool if you could duck and, like, boom, uppercut the baby and it would explode into an explosion of blood? I'm only saying that because some of the early versions you could actually perform a babality and then either reverse it, I believe, or uppercut it until, it was just a splashing of blood. And I do remember seeing that, but those were very early versions of the game. It was evident that friendships and babalities were something to distract, perhaps, the adults or the parents. I remember thinking the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, we can do that when the parents are watching, and then when they're not, we can do some fatalities. But what did they include as fatalities in Part 2 now that they got better hardware? Liu Kang, for instance, what did he do? Let's take a look. Really? The screen goes dark and he does the same uppercut from the first one? Well, that's pretty upsetting. Oh, they have 2 fatalities now. Well, what's his other one? This has got to be better than this crap. Yes, yes. Now that's what we wanted. That's what our young, fragile minds wanted to see. More blood, more guts, more violence. You chomped your whole body off, and you know what? That made up for the pretty lousy fatality that he had in Mortal Kombat 1 and his other fatality in Mortal Kombat 2. That one stuck out in my mind. That one sticks out still to this day, and it's my favorite one. It's the first fatality I saw in Mortal Kombat 2, the arcade, when I first saw it downtown Toronto. Crowds and crowds of people around this game. That was the first fatality I saw, followed by Liu Kang's friendship. And that's when I realized, like, this is going to be an eye-opener. I can't wait to see what else is in this game. But if you love that fatality, take a look at these ones. Like, the game just got crazy, and the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 2 were incredible. Take a look at some of these. Incredible. I still love seeing those fatalities. I still love performing them, and they're all up here. I can't forget how to do them, and I just love those. So in 1995, Mortal Kombat 3 came out. Now that we had this Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, the Super Nintendo version kept in all the violence. It wasn't such a big deal anymore. So within the course of 3 years, and the rating systems and whatnot, this became the norm, and other video games copied this kind of violence, and there were other fighters like Mortal Kombat that came out in the arcades. I particularly remember the 3DO doing a bunch of them, but you had games like Eternal Champions and I can't remember Way of the Warrior and such, and they started implementing fatalities and blood and gore and such. And because they were able to rate them, all of a sudden people were adding in more and more violence. So 95, Mortal Kombat 3 comes out. What can Mortal Kombat 3 do to top Mortal Kombat 2? And did they? Well, in my opinion, Mortal Kombat 3 is an awesome game. I love it. I love it to this day. Everyone knows I like it more than Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. But when MK3 came out, so now we were expecting huge things. I didn't even know it was coming out yet. And the first time I saw it was at Laser Quest. And here's the first thing that I saw when Mortal Kombat 3 came out. When I walked up to the arcade and started watching someone else play, and I saw the fatality. The first fatality was Sub-Zero. This is what I saw.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
So that was it. It was a very quick fatality. It looks like it's missing frames of animation too. I remember thinking, that's kind of neat. Neat is a word I still use to this day a lot. But I wasn't overly impressed. I didn't particularly like the look of Sub-Zero. Now, well, that has nothing to do with his fatality. I didn't like the look of him. However, I did notice, the graphics looked more crisp. The sound was more crisp. The character roster, 15 characters to start in Mortal Kombat 3. So, they did their best to add more and more, but did it take away from the experience of this game? When I was a teenager, I loved figuring out fatalities and such. If I could. If I couldn't, it was in magazines and whatnot by this time. But I really liked just the fact that there was more in the game. And what else did they add in Mortal Kombat 3? Well, let's take a quick look at what they added in MK3.
Sub-Zero wins. Friendship. Friendship again?
Okay, babalities, friendships again. That's cool. The requirements to do them too. You couldn't push blocks, you could push punch now, so you could do a little more moves-wise. But, you know, babalities and friendships were more gimmicky in my mind. There were some really good friendships, though. Like, check these ones out. There were some good ones.
That was fun!
Finish him. Night Wolf. Finish him. Striker wins. Sonya wins. Friendship. Friendship again?
So as you can see, I mean, those friendships are pretty cool. They're pretty creative. You know, they add some variety to the game. But something that was major, and it was a major failure in my opinion, was the inclusion of Animalities. Now, in order to do an Animality, it had to be on the 3rd round. And how anyone figured this stuff out before, like, the internet or whatever, it's mind-blowing that people figured this out. But in order to do an Animality, it had to be on round 3. You had to perform a Mercy, which you hold run, you tap down 4 times. And a lot of people, when Mercy was performed on them, I remember, and even to this day, like a lot of the time, people don't think you're going to do it, so they'll kind of look away or whatever. But you get a sliver of power back, and you know, then you got to kill your opponent, and then you can perform an Animality. But the Animalities, while the idea was good, I just think it was very, very poorly executed, as you can see by the Animalities I'm about to show you.
Sub-Zero shows mercy. Finish him. Finish him. Finisher. Wins. Animality.
So there you go, some of the Animalities, and while I think the idea was good, the execution was pretty lousy. The fact that they were all like glowing neon and such was kind of a letdown. It was cool as a teenager and whatnot, because it was something new. It was something else in the game. It was a different way to finish your opponent, but I just think it was executed very poorly. Ultimate Mortal Kombat implemented the Animalities for the new characters. None of them glow, which was a good thing, but it just got so ridiculous. You know, Scorpion as a penguin kind of thing. Scorpion, his name is Scorpion, but Shiva had already taken his Animality by turning into a scorpion. So turning Scorpion into a penguin and a reptile into, you know, a monkey, It was kind of lame. There were a couple of good ones from Ultimate MK though. For instance, Katana.
Katana wins.
Now that Katana animality there turning into a bunny, I think they blatantly rip off a Monty Python movie with that animality. But I mean, as the extent to the extent of the other animalities in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, it's not really worth visiting. So back to the fatalities though, however. So a lot of these fatalities, like I said, it looked like there was a lot of missing frames of animation. Like, for instance, when Smoke drops the grenade down your throat, you're like this, and then the next thing you know, you're like this, and your mouth is wide open. That was a big turnoff for those fatalities. And one huge gripe that people have too is when the opponent explodes, they overdid the bones and the legs and the heads and skulls and all that stuff, and the fact that they look like mannequin parts, it didn't look like the inside of a human being anymore. It was complete overkill. I didn't like it personally. A lot of other people didn't like it. You know, you'd explode the opponent and he's got 4 rib cages and 12 legs, and it didn't make sense. They got a little carried away with that, I think. Let's take a look at some of those right now, and you'll see what I mean.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
What the hell happened there? So as you can see, they're pretty bad. They're the amount of like body parts and bones and such that come out, it's kind of ridiculous. Not to mention just plain silly. Like some of those fatalities there are pretty lame. But that's not to say that they didn't have some good fatalities in MK3 and Ultimate MK3. Take a look at these ones. They're not too bad.
Fatality.
So there you have it. There was a little preview of the better fatalities from Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. But anyways, that's basically a sum up of the fatalities and the evolution of the finishing moves from Mortal Kombat 1 to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And that's what we're touching on this day in this video. As the games progressed, the fatalities just got more extravagant, and to the point where they now became basically little short movies, whereas each fatality takes 30 seconds to end up, it seems. And we've become completely desensitized, because these fatalities are something that back then they would have been so bad that the game would have been rated X. It wouldn't have even came out. It would have been some black market underground stuff that's where the violence level went in these games. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. We forgot to show all the pit fatalities, so let's finish this video with a compilation of the pit fatalities from part 2 and 3. And hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week. And thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Sub-Zero wins. Fatality. Finish him. Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Crispy. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Wait. You're still here? It's over. Go. Swipe up. Do something. Click on another video. Get out of here. It's over.